Hello fellow champions. Today I'm going to make a video about how to play my personal favorite champ in the game, Shang-Chi. I know there's already a lot of videos on YouTube out there about how to play this guy. Kinda wanted to take a different approach with this video and do something a little different. Gonna be the same in some senses where I will give a little bit of a deep dive into the abilities he has, and as well as some rotations, but also just kind of gonna give a maybe a more realistic context for how you can use this guy in just, you know, the MCOC players everyday content. So let's get looking. Alright, Shang-Chi's abilities. So first off, I actually just noticed that this first ability that it says is always active is he gains a certain amount of critical damage rating for the rest of the fight, but it's max 300. This is interesting because we'll go over the Wushu strikes later, which the cap is 300, but that's separate from what this is. So what I think that means is you get a certain amount of critical rating for 300 hits in the fight, but then after that it drops off. If anyone else has any insight on this, actually, let me know in the comments below. Okay, so Wushu strikes. I'm going to make this a little bit more simpler than it states here in game, but basically you have 4 different types of Wushu strikes, and they can be activated by doing a certain combo in game, which of course I will show. In a combo ender that activates one of the Wushu strikes, it's also a guaranteed critical hit, as well as gaining that appropriate chi charge. So there are 4 different Wushu strikes. They're in ascending order of shortest to longest combo. First being the disarming strike. This one places a slow debuff on the opponent for 5 seconds for each readied one that you have, which I will explain in game. Second is cleansing strike. This instantly purifies 3 debuffs when you activate it. It also gives 1 indefinite one for each readied charge that you have. So you can use this again to your advantage to whether or not you'll need to have more cleanse passives in the fight or not. Third being Breaking Strike. This is unblockable, so after this hit, you gain an unblockable buff for a certain amount of time based on how many charges you have ready. Also, these all can be done through block. Fourth being Pinpoint Strike. This inflicts a stun for 0.65 seconds for each ready Wushu strike. Alright, additionally, perfectly timed dodges and blocks. So he has a certain range of time, short window, where he can perfect block and dex attacks to gain additional chi charges. His heavy attacks gain a precision buff that give a certain amount of critical rating that caps at 4 stacks. And every time you perform a heavy attack, it will also reset all the Wushu strikes. Alright, the special one. So landing the attack or striking into block will perform the last Wushu strike used with equal potency. This is great for any situation that you may find yourself in where you need to repeat an action again. A lot of customizability there. And if there wasn't a Wushu strike used before, it'll just use the cleansing one again, so more cleanses there. Alright, the special 2, this is your big boy damage ability here. Every hit of the special 2 is a guaranteed critical hit. You also consume every chi charge that you've built up before you drop that. The special 2 is also multiplied by how many chi charges you have for a certain amount of damage. Also, when you throw a special 2, it resets all the Wushu strikes. Special 3 is you gain a certain amount of critical damage for the rest of the fight, and this does stack. So if you're in a longer fight, you just keep throwing special 3s until you think you've gained enough power, so to speak, to unleash your final damage. Also, when you activate a special 3, you instantly gain 4 chi charges. Alright, the Awakened ability, Master of Kung Fu. Now, I have a bit of a hot take on this ability. If you go and ask, you know, the majority of the players, they would probably say that Shang-Chi does not need to be awakened. Which is generally true in the sense that you don't need him to be awakened, in the sense that he can still be really viable without being awakened. But I cannot tell you how many Battlegrounds fights and other fights where this ability has saved me and won me some fights that maybe I shouldn't have if I wouldn't have had this ability. In my opinion, this is a very underrated SIG ability here. What it is every single time Shang-Chi deals a critical hit, it scales with SIG level. That hit does a certain amount of physical burst damage. And if this is higher SIG, this can really do a lot of extra damage that you will notice. Also, he can perform critical hits through block. This is not something that is super useful, but this can accidentally win you fights. There's some times where you will miss time, maybe an intercept or something, and you will throw a special 2 into the block, which still does a decent amount of damage, and perhaps a surprising amount of damage. But this is not what you would usually use, unless you're going to perhaps throw a Wushu Strike into a block, which is definitely something that you would do. For the relic, I believe Black Panther is the best one. I'm using a 5-star awakened one here. This gives you pretty much a cruelty buff, increasing your critical damage, which is a pretty big deal for Shang-Chi. So this is one I would recommend. Alright, basic rotation. This is your classic punching bag Winter Soldier. Gonna start off with a medium, throwing that slow onto the opponent there. Then gonna throw the medium, medium, giving me the cleanse charges and cleansing any debuffs that I would have had. Now going to perform the medium, medium, giving me the unblockable. Now going to perform the final one, which is medium, light, medium, giving me the stun onto the opponent. And then I will heavy attack to reset here. Going to dex this and just restart that exact same rotation. Now you can use these in any order. I just use them in that order just because it's just simpler for my brain. But I'm going to go for the special 3 here. What this will do, throw a relic down. What this will do is this will increase my critical rating for the rest of the fight. I chose to do this because his health pool is a little bit high. I also forget that he doesn't have a special 3, so I'm playing a bit passive. I noticed that and put the unblockable Wushu Strike into his block, because I know that'll just make the fight a little faster. I mess up and get stunned, but he actually doesn't attack me in time, so I'm just free to reset. Use the Wushu Strikes a little bit out of order here, because I used my unblockable. Get the 5th one there, or the 4th one that is, reset it. Dex a little special here. Then I'm going to throw a relic, I believe, and then throw the special 2. And I believe this is way overkill in this fight, but you'll see some nice numbers here. Coming up next here, we have a Spider-Gwen, which is a perfect matchup for him. It is in general, but this is from one of the event quests this month. This Spider-Gwen has some stun immunities and some unstoppables. This is like a perfect fight for Shang-Chi. I believe this is every first hit of every combo or something like that is the stun immune, and then the unstoppable is kind of constant throughout the fight. Once I throw those slows on, though, it pretty much turns off her normal abilities for evade and unstoppable for the whole fight, so I can just pretty much cruise. You notice I get hit there, but you notice I purified the stun, so I don't have to worry about her comboing into me. Then I just throw down this massive special 2, and I'll just throw some stuff into her block there to finish it off. Another great perk of the block critical hits there. Alright, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment on what champ I should deep dive next. Gonna throw up a Toad side event quest boss here to finish this off. I don't think I play very well here, but he has some interesting interactions that Shang-Chi can make use of. Leave your feedback in the comments if you have any, positive or negative. I'll welcome. I think the special 2 I'm getting ready to throw here is probably going to be overkill, so we shall see. Yep, way overkill. Thanks again. See you around.